Hi, everybody. Welcome to Shutterbug 101's first live stream. So exciting. Naturally, I don't expect too many people to be part of my live stream, but if you happen to log on during the live, you're welcome to ask any questions that you have right here, right now, while I am available. So today I am going to go over some of my favorite comments over the journey of reaching 10,000 subscribers. So first off, I want to thank you for being a supporter of my channel. Definitely didn't expect to get to 10,000 subscribers, didn't even make a YouTube for the subscribers. But to be honest, when it comes to you guys commenting and being encouraging, even giving constructive criticism so I can make my channel better for you and viewers like you, it helps me know that what I'm doing is really helping people. So keep it up. Keep sharing if you feel that I have helped you in some way, even if it was just answering that one question that was driving you nuts. You know, that's what I'm here for. That's what I love to do. So just going to go over some of my favorite comments. Please be patient with me. This is my first live ever. So no bloopers, no edits. It's just me. So just going over some of my favorite comments here. I think my next live, I'm going to try and use OBS so I can get some of the comments up on the screen for you guys so you can read them as well, by the way. But I also want to give out a shout out to some of the people that have done comments before. So the first one was on the Canon G7X, G3X, walkthrough from Imad. Said thanks, but now when I focus by shutter button, I get a box in enlarged frame to show what's in focus. So some of these comments I wanted to also bring up because I want to give like a general lesson on these as well, in case you're also having the same issue, because this is very common when it comes to this happening. So that enlarged frame that you're seeing when it comes to manually focusing is the camera zooming in on a particular area so you can ensure it's in focus. Because naturally, when you're looking through the viewfinder or you're using a 3-inch screen, it's really difficult to tell that it's actually in focus. I think we've all been there where we've taken a picture and we went, wow, that looks great in the back of the camera. And then we get to our computer and it's actually not in focus at all. So if you do not like that, you can always turn that off in the menu depending on the camera. It will vary in places, but usually it's under your autofocus settings. And you can turn that off if that bothers you. But some of our newer, especially mirrorless cameras these days, have something called peaking as well, focus peaking, which will allow you to turn that on. Instead of it zooming into a particular space, it'll outline the area in a specific color. It could be red, blue, yellow, white. So that way you're still seeing the entire picture, but it's showing you the outlines of what's actually in focus. So that's a really nice replacement for that in case that really throws you off, which I know for me at first it really did. So keep that in mind, but just to throw that out there. Next one is on the Panasonic ZS200 walkthrough from Ralph80. Some of the names on YouTube, because it's all one word, it's interesting to read. I enjoyed the video as I'm considering this camera for travel. I had no idea that the Leica C-Lux is virtually the same camera. I have no idea why anyone would spend the extra money for Leica. I'll tell you why people would spend the extra money for Leica, because it says Leica on it. So that's actually a very correct statement. Panasonic is kind of the generic Leica, believe it or not. So when you purchase a Panasonic, you may notice on a lot of the glass itself, it'll actually say Leica glass, because it's like I said, it's kind of the generic. So if you're a fan of Leica, or you've heard about Leica, or you've been really curious and you want to save money, you don't want to spend the Leica, cash, Panasonic is a great option for you to go for. So definitely keep that in mind. The next one is on the Canon SX740 walkthrough from Chris Nye. Please, oh, this was actually in a response to a comment. Naturally, there's going to be people that don't agree with me. I understand that. Now, that's why I try not to force my opinion out there, because my opinion may not be the right thing for everybody. But what I had stated in this video was that RAW is 4 times larger than a JPEG is. And this camera only does JPEG, which these days, most cameras have the option for RAW photography. So I was a little disappointed that it didn't feature RAW, that it was only JPEG. But for this camera, generally that should be all you need. It's a very simple point and shoot with a lot of really fancy features. And someone got really angry with me, and was relatively rude. It definitely wasn't constructive criticism, saying that they have been doing photography since '94, that JPEG is, I don't know what I'm talking about. I didn't do the research. That JPEG is far more editable than I was stating, but what I was stating was actually truth. My disappointment in not having RAW, that was opinion, but the fact that RAW is 4 times larger than JPEG is a true fact. So this person actually responded to that person there saying, please just ignore him. Honestly, his comment was completely unnecessary and came across very rude. Some people in this world just have an inability to communicate nicely with others, and he is one of them, unfortunately. I thought your video was very informative, and you are correct. You do have better control with RAW, as it is processed by the individual and not automatically as with JPEG, but you knew that anyway. So thank you, Chris Nye. I really appreciate the backup support from that, and I appreciate you watching my video. Another one here on actually the same video, responding to the same commenter. I had Alexandra Tom also back me up. So thank you, Alexandra, who said, I am so sorry about Scott's comment. He is being a donkey, for less of better words. I want to make sure that my channel is still relatively family friendly here. Your response, however, was very professional. As I did respond to him, when it comes to people that have issues with my information and they're not just being trolls, I like to try and support my facts and let him know my explanation, and also apologize if it came off in a different way, because again, I make this channel to help you guys. So she wanted to make sure that she let me know that my response was professional, which I really appreciate. I just bought this camera in September 2020 for my YouTube channel. I don't have photography experience and really appreciate this video. Trolls will troll. Keep your head up. P.S. I watched the whole video, because the gentleman who gave me a pretty negative comment didn't even watch the whole video. He stated multiple times, oh, I got to this point in the video and was like, this is ridiculous. So I tried to watch it more. And then you got to the part about Flash and I gave up. And I still don't really understand what he meant by Flash, because it does have Flash and I didn't say anything negative about it. So, but you're right, Alexandra, trolls will troll, and I will continue to be professional with these people. Here's a comment on vlog number 6, Adventures Pumpkin Picking with the Z5 and our first giveaway. So I did do a giveaway. There's been a couple of things that I was sent by a company to review their product, and I let them know, if I review the product, I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not just going to be like, this is great, go buy it, because I'm not that type of person. And with this particular product, it was a like a wireless transceiver, so you can access video and whatnot through an application to a smart device, which most apps can do that these days. But this was supposed to give you a little bit more video control with no lagging, which it did. However, at the time, I was unable to use it for my Sony because I shoot with Sony primarily. So it wasn't compatible with Sony firmware quite yet. So I decided to give it away. And it was my first giveaway. I haven't done another one yet because I don't have really anything to give away yet. But this person was the only person to watch the vlog and to actually provide a guess. Dorcas67. I'm hoping you got at least 90 seeds from those two because we had picked up 2 small pumpkins and said whoever guesses the amount of seeds in these pumpkins will get this this wireless transceiver. I'm also a Disney AP. What a year to be a pass holder. Can't wait to be home again. Really missing Batu, which is, of course, Star Wars Land. I just upgraded from a D5200 to a Z50, which are the Nikon cameras, which that was compatible with. And because he was the only person to watch and guess how many seeds there were, he won. So again, thank you to Dorcas67 for watching the videos and participating in the giveaway. I really appreciate it. Here's one for the Panasonic ZS200 walkthrough from a Kite Tour. Just found this video and it's the best tutorial for a complete novice like myself. My phone camera wasn't doing it for me, so I was thinking about the ZS200 as an EDC. After watching your video, I'm sold on the camera and will be back to rewatch your tutorial and make notes once it's in my hands. Thank you. By the way, your voice is calm, unlike most tech voiceovers who sound like they've eaten too much Halloween candy. Now, I love my candy, but I try not to eat any before my videos for that same reason. So thank you so much, Kite, if hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, for watching my videos. I'm so glad that you found it helpful. Vlog number 9. Hi, YouTube. It's me, Heather. That one was kind of a personal one. It was kind of just breaking down how things are going. I think it's very common for a YouTube creator to kind of step back when things happen in life and just take a small breather, because I didn't realize until I became a creator that this is a lot of work on top of full-time jobs and doing things on the side and then your personal life. Like, it's a lot to balance. So, I wanted to create something a little personal just to tell you guys how I was doing. And someone responded very kindly. Patricia Gloria Hudson, thank you so much. Kia Ora, never apologize for life. Crap happens, and lighting incense and stepping back to deload an absolute requirement in these mad times. Here in New Zealand, it's life as normal due to the entire population staying home for 1 month, plus everybody wore masks. Brilliant response by caring people, resulting in normality. No absolute crazies claiming their right not to. Yeah, US has been a crazy place lately. May you stay sane, smelling flowers, bath bombs, and remain away from COVID crazies. So thank you for all your mahi on cameras, which I looked up these words, and I think mahi was knowledge. It helps us tyros immensely. Kia kaha wahain toa ubik, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I looked back and it said something about being a strong woman. So thank you so much for your kind words. They were very uplifting, and I hold this comment very close to my heart. Those comments mean the world to me. So thank you for taking the time to leave those. Here is one for the Sony RX10 Mark IV walkthrough. Now, I've had a couple of trolls leave ridiculous comments, and some of them extremely inappropriate, so I had them removed. This one, though, was family friendly. This one I kept on the video because I enjoyed it so much. It made me roll laughing. So hopefully you will find the same. So Twiglet22 had said, "Great walkthrough of this cracking camera. I really love it, but they've made a huge mistake with the design as there's no door on the rear of the camera to enable a roll of film to be fitted. Good job, I'm a do-it-yourself enthusiast, as I was able to pry off that little screen thing at the back, and I'm going to make a film bay to make it a proper camera. The power zoom is a great feature, and I have put the camera on its back in the hamster's cage, and they have learned how to extend the lens like a lift, which takes them within reach of their food container and mezzanine floor of the cage where they do poops." Brilliant. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was hilarious. It made my day. Thank you, Twiglet22. um, Also, another from Twiglet22 on the same camera. Just been through the video again with the camera to try the different functions and settings and got a lot from it. And you are right when you mention that some people find it daunting and very tempting to stay in auto mode for every shot video. And for some people, the results they get may well suffice. I find it much better to follow a tutorial like yours rather than reading a manual. So thank you for your support, Shutterbug, and I am now beginning to see the wood for the trees with this magnificent camera. Thank you so much. I'm really happy that you were able to entertain me with your previous comment, and you were able to go back to my video and actually find it very helpful as well. So thank you again very much. On vlog number 9, hi YouTube, it's me, Heather, that very personal vlog that I put out there. Stranded360 has said, "You have a very calming voice. You could make another channel on a different topic. Keep up the good work." So I'm curious, if I were to make another channel, what should I do it on? You know what? Because right now on this current channel, it's definitely photography and videography. My husband hates that word, by the way. He's like, "It's not a real word," but I use it as a real word because it should be a real word. I do camera walkthroughs, lens reviews. My vlog is more so kind of off the straight path there because it's more of my personal life and adventures that I go on, but I try and do like my camera walkthroughs on the same trip, so you guys are kind of seeing more behind the scenes stuff. I know it's less of that lately, but you know, I'm going to try and go back toward that again once cameras start being readily available. But if there was like a completely different subject that you guys would want YouTube on and you would want me to do it, I'm curious, what would you want to see from me? What YouTube do you find is not represented strongly in the YouTube platform? What isn't there that you have sought for that I might be able to help with? Who knows? Maybe I'll do it in the future. Leave a comment below. Another one for the Sony RX10 Mark IV walkthrough by Anne Cleve. "Thank you so much for your tutorial. I have had this camera for exactly 1 year and use it on auto. Now I am setting it to P for program and use it how I am supposed to, thanks to you. You have really made my day. I love this camera even more now. You are such a brilliant ambassador for Sony. They should be very grateful for what you have done in showing how lovely this camera works to its full potential. I have now subscribed as I think you are one of the most influential photographers I have ever searched for on YouTube." What an amazing review. Like, thank you so much for commenting that. To be an influencer or a creator these days, and to be considered one, really, is really quite fantastic. So thank you. I really appreciate it. That's why I make these videos. One for the Panasonic G9 walkthrough by Ivalo Petrov. Just curious why you started the video with pictures and videos from this dark and destroyed buildings. I mean, low light is one of the few weaknesses of that camera, so it was not a good advertisement. I was almost closing the video, but decided to give it more time, and then it was very useful. But at first I was like, creepy. So a couple things about the G9 video. I try and push the limits that these cameras can do. So when it comes to videos like the G9 or even I think the FZ1000 Mark I, I wanted it, knowing that it wasn't going to do amazing in low light, I wanted to see what it could do in low light. Because if it can do decent low light, it's going to be fine in the middle of the day. I wanted to see its noise graduation. I wanted to see how and if it would excel in some ways in low light. And I still had a good time with it. Another thing about me is I have a weakness for abandoned locations. I love exploring the abandoned houses. In this case, it was an abandoned airstrip, which to me has always been kind of like a really cool thing to photograph, because I love to imagine what it used to be when it was first built, the people that have memories of this place, when it was at its prime, when it was clean and regularly used, and the people that came through there. Those ideas to me and trying to imagine that is fascinating. So I actually had gone with my little brother. He actually knew the location and told me about it. He's like, you got to get out here and take pictures. So we went out there together, and it's such a great memory for me personally, because I was actually a huge wuss and wouldn't go inside the air tower, but my brother happily did with the camera. So it's actually him getting those pictures and video footage inside of the tower itself, as I'm standing outside going, you still okay? You're doing all right? I hear coyotes. And it was just, it was a lot of fun. And so those pictures are priceless to me. So while they don't represent the low light fantastically, I still think the photos came out really great, and you can tell we had a good time. But I'm glad that you found the video helpful. I just wanted to throw that out there, that some of these camera walkthroughs that I do, like I said, I push the limit. So when I go out and take pictures, I do something that maybe you typically wouldn't do with that camera, along with a couple pictures of what you typically would. That way you can see more of a range of what that camera can do. Another one here for the Canon PowerShot G7X Mark III walkthrough from Fork Handles. This is so helpful. Thank you. Going to make using my camera less intimidating. Heather, you are awesome. Thank you, Fork Handles. I'm really glad that I could help you. I'm glad I could be awesome for you. And let me know if you have any questions. One for the Panasonic ZS80 walkthrough from John Barrett. You are the Mick Jagger of camera training, a total rock star. Thanks for this walkthrough. Helped a bunch. Happy I could help. Happy I could be your rock star. Here is one for the Olympus TG6 walkthrough from a Patricia PPI. Hello, I wanted to thank you very much for your very clear video. Fortunately, there are people like you, because Olympus couldn't help me. So far, delighted with my TG4 diving. I hope to be with the TG6 as well. Have a good day, and thanks again. Unfortunately, I hear this quite a bit, and I work with a lot of the representatives for these manufacturers, but Olympus by far is probably the most disconnected, at least it has been for the last year or so, especially when they've been switching companies, because they actually got bought out. We don't know currently what the future is for Olympus. We hope that things will get better, because we have loved Olympus cameras in the past, and we hope that they keep that up. But only time will tell. So in the meantime, I'm happy to help where I can. Here is one for the Sony RX10 Mark IV walkthrough by Sam Fox. That was so great. Thank you. I've learned so much, or I've learned such a lot from watching your tutorial. I was struggling with the online manual. It was so overwhelming, typically is. One question I have, along the bottom bar of the screen at the base of the camera, there is on the far left an icon which is showing a number in inches. So like 3 inches. It has the double quote. Can you tell me what that is? I thought the shutter speed was supposed to show here. This is another one of those things where I wanted to bring it up because this is a very common question people have. Those 2 tick marks are full seconds long. So you're not wrong. That is indeed the shutter speed. But now it's going full seconds instead of fractions of seconds. So you'll see the 1/250, that's 1/250th of a second. But when it starts stepping down to where you see the 2 quote marks, that's full seconds long. That's for long exposure photography, just so you are aware. Here is one for, so I had another person get angry with me on one of my videos because of the way that I presented the camera. So I believe this was for the RX10 Mark IV, if I'm not mistaken. I referred to it as a point and shoot bridge camera. This is the correct term for it. However, this gentleman was like, no, it's either a point and shoot or it's a bridge camera. It can't be both. Point and shoots are automatic only. They don't have settings. They don't have features. It's just auto. It's a point and shoot. Well, most cameras these days have settings and features. There's actually very few of them that in that case would be a point and shoot camera. Now, what I am educated, what I would know as a point and shoot is something that's built all in one. I mean, just listen to this person's comment here, because I had posted a general poll of what people thought. You know, I wanted to know if what I had believed is what the majority of people believed. And it's actually been voted at 100% my opinion, which I thought was, I'm like, okay, so I'm on the right track here. This person responded, there are some fairly sophisticated point and shoot cameras out there these days. I'm talking about the bridge style like my RX10 Mark IV. Sometimes you feel as if you need a degree just to understand the manual, and it weighs in around 1 kilogram, so it certainly isn't a pocket camera, which is often the perception of a point and shoot. Full manual modes and quality lenses make for pretty immersive photography, and it's fair to say that an interchangeable lens camera set to auto could be described as a point and shoot. Not wrong. So the range when it comes to like point and shoot, bridge, whatever it is quite a wide range. But in general, I would say an built all-in-one camera, which is a bridge camera, typically something that's a little bit chunkier, you can't fit in your pocket. Point and shoot could be anything with an auto mode. So it's not necessarily just the cameras that have automatic. So I appreciate your take on that, Sam. Here is one for the Canon SX70 walkthrough by a Chris Fraser. Best 28 minutes of my life. Great in-depth review and super easy to follow. Thanks. He also posted another comment right after that saying, who are the 18 thumbs down? Understandably, especially when it comes to Canon and Nikon, I expect there to be dislikes. And that's mainly because Canon and Nikon have such a strong generational following that anybody's opinion that is not their own is looked down upon when it comes to those generational shooters. Now, don't get me wrong. I shot with Canon for 12 years. I shot with Nikon for 2. I appreciate the brands, but I also appreciate all brands, which is why I have this channel and not a Canon exclusive channel or a Nikon exclusive channel. Cameras in all have their pros and cons. So I don't not like the people that dislike my videos. You have your opinion. I appreciate it. You know, everyone does. It's totally fine. But I just love that this person called out, was like, who are the 18 people that dislike this video? You're nuts, you know? I appreciate it. Thank you, Chris. Here's one for the Sony Alpha 1 walkthrough. From Binary Infections, who said, whoever thumbs down this video has no real thumbs. That made me giggle. I really appreciated that comment. Thank you so much, Binary. Here is one for the Sony WX350 walkthrough from Rakesh Pal, saying, I'm from India. Madam, your voice is very sweet and cute. Thank you. I appreciate it. Here is another one for the Sony RX10 Mark IV walkthrough from an FND Kirshner. Thank you. New to using this camera, this is our go-to video. We would have given up if not for you. Thank you very much. I am happy to help any way that I can. So, by the way, if you're posting questions on my videos, I'm doing my best to get to you. I just got promoted at my job, so I'm actually in charge of all of my stores in the state. So it's a much bigger job than I had. So I will get to your questions, I promise. Like I said, if you happen to tune into the live while I'm on, ask them now. I'll answer them now to the best of my ability. Other than that, I'll keep reading through my comments. Here's one for the Sony Alpha 1 walkthrough from a John Paul Joseph. It's a nice name. It's very fancy. I am one of the culprits. Because I actually had stated in the video that for cameras like the Sony Alpha 1, the Nikon D850, the Canon 5D Mark IV, a lot of people will go out and they'll start with a point and shoot, and then they'll go, well, I don't want to reinvest in another professional camera down the line. Let me just go with the best of the best, and I'll learn about it right now. Well, it's a lot. It's a lot, because if you aren't familiar with the general like shutter speed, aperture, ISO, the generals of the camera, it can be a little tricky to grasp the new fancy features of these professional cameras. So, so I wanted to mention that my videos are more so for those people than the people that have been shooting with these cameras for years. My videos are to help you get comfortable if you're uncomfortable with your camera. That's my whole point. It's a reference to go back to. But he said, I am one of the culprits. Just bought this as a present for my wife. Wink, wink, it's a present for me too. Then again, I am a newbie as well, even though I had a D7100, which was a Nikon crop sensor camera. Great camera. My reasoning for buying it is I liked the tech they put into it, and it's going to stay with me another 10 years. Understandable. So just know that if you're investing into this camera that has a lot more than your last camera had, you're gonna have a learning curve to it. That's definitely something to keep in mind. Here is one for the Nikon Z5 walkthrough from a Aniket Sen. Nikons have a way of punching way above their weight class. Me and my girl, we both bought compact mirrorless full frames. I got the Z5 and she got the Sony A7C. While almost costing twice as much as my Nikon, at least where we live, when we went out for some landscape photography, the Z5 quite surprisingly stood toe-to-toe and even outclassed the A7C in some aspects. I was overjoyed, and she was plain jealous. I feel the Z5 is better built and feels more natural and ergonomic compared to the A7C. Not to mention perks like superior EVF, electronic viewfinder, superior IBIS, image stabilizer, and weather sealing, and 2 UHS-2 card slots. It was to a point where she asked me if I wanted to swap cameras with her, and I said, heck no. But we're getting married, so yeah, I had to swap cameras. The autofocus on this A7C is great, though. Yep, when it comes to marriage, what's yours is mine and mine is yours. So you can always trade the A7C in for another Nikon. You guys can just share lenses. That's always an option. Here is one for the Panasonic FC300 walkthrough from 3KDN. Just ventured into the camera world through drone photography. Never used nothing more than my phone and an Instamatic previously. Bought the FC330, which I believe is the European version of the FC300, to complement the DJI drone video and photo images. Without this video, in all honesty, the 330 would have just been another Instamatic for me. Having read the instructions, watched loads of YouTube videos until coming across yours, I wouldn't have still had a clue, in all honesty. The best video on YouTube by far for a total novice like myself, which also gave me the motivation to explore the camera further. Thank you so much. Really appreciated. Really glad that I could be there for you and help you really make the most out of your camera. So here is one in response to me hitting 1K, which is surreal because we've just hit 10K, from a Phyllis Carpenter saying, "Love your walkthrough videos. So very helpful. Thank you. I'm considering buying the Lumix FZ1000 Mark II, but first, can you tell me a comparable Canon or camera in the Canon and Nikon brands? Thank you for any help." So just like Phyllis asked, if you are looking for comparable cameras to compare a camera that you're interested into, always happy to do that. For the FC1000, or really any point and shoot comparisons, I will say that Canon and Nikon are pulling away from the point and shoot world. They're definitely much more focused on their interchangeable lens cameras. So the best point and shoot or bridge cameras that you can buy are actually Panasonic or Sony cameras. So its strongest comparison to the FC1000 Mark II is actually the Sony RX10 Mark IV, just so you know. Here is one for the 1000 subscriber mark from God's Daughter L. No apologies needed. Keep doing your thing. God bless and hope all goes well with your family and friends. Oh, this was actually me, not the 1000 mark, but reaching out to say thank you for your patience. After my brother passed away in January, I had to take a break. So I just wanted to mention this one specifically for the kind words and the patience, that you guys have had with me for the past few months. Here's one for the Panasonic FC80 walkthrough from a Daniel Romilla. Shutterbug 101, the camera is made to use... yes, this is why I wanted to bring this up. So he had mentioned to bring up these product numbers here. The camera is made to use lens adapters, and this is why in the menu has conversion settings. See page 281 in the detailed manual, not the basic one. They show there the lens tube adapter DMW LA8, the teleconversion lens DMW LT55, and the close-up lens DMW LC55. My experience with those is not good. If I need less than 20 millimeter lens that is a wider angle, I simply turn around 90 degrees, the camera in vertical position. I shoot 3 to 4 frames. I stitch the frames together with a panorama making software like PanoWeaver 10, made by Easy Pano. While the image stabilization, in my opinion, is outstanding, adding a teleconversion lens makes the image less sharp and I lose details. So you're either better off zooming in digitally in camera or after on the computer in the image processing software. So these, the DMW LT55, the LC55, the LA8, I guess when the FZ80 was first released, they had these converters you could add to the front of the camera. And I actually asked my Panasonic representative about this because I had no clue. And actually, neither did he, because the FC80 was released some time ago. And we reached out to Panasonic themselves, and they were like, don't worry about it. Because it wasn't something that complemented the camera well. It actually reduced the image quality of the camera. And so they were like, yeah, no, it never happened. They'd rather pretend it never happened than actually answer questions about it. So that should say a lot when it comes to that. So in firmware updates, it's actually gotten rid of that conversion option, just so you are aware. Here is one for vlog number 14, Home Sweet Castle, when we did our vlog going to Disneyland, from Patricia Hudson. Once again, well done, young lady. Your advice on cameras is top notch. Love your positivity and verve for life. Thank you very much, Patricia. I'm doing my best to hold on to that verve for life that you mentioned, for sure. Here is one for the top 3 attachments for the Olympus TG6 by a David P. You have a pleasant voice, doesn't need any music, just my opinion. Have a good day. Thank you very much. A lot of people have commented on the music in the past. I don't want to remake videos necessarily because people have still found them helpful. I'd hate to have to redo them just to have people reroute to a different video just to change the music. I will agree with you. Looking back, I'm like, okay, yeah, the music is a little obnoxious. Yes, the music's a little loud. It can be distracting. So I appreciate everyone's tips in that. If you watch more recent videos, you'll find that I'm using much calmer music, and I've toned it way, way down. So it's just lulling in the background, because on lives like these, you get to hear my fan. If my dog decides to bark, if I, drop something on the desk, it's kind of an odd silence for me, at least personally. So I like to add just a little hint of calming background music. Here is one for a Just the Samples video for the 6D Mark II by a Dozer Photography. Seeing these pictures makes me want to really pick up my camera and never put it down again, so someday I can be half as good as you. Outstanding work. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's been 14, 15 years of practice, that's for sure. And of course, if you guys have any questions on certain photos that I take, like, hey, how do I do this? I'm always happy to reveal tips, tricks on how you can also accomplish doing that yourself. Here is another one for the Panasonic FC80 walkthrough by an Appalita. Hi, Sugar. Oh, call me Sugar. My wonderful husband just gave me the FC80 for my birthday, and I've been checking out the how-tos on YouTube. Thank heaven for yours. It's the only one that makes sense to me, especially at the end when you say don't try too much in the beginning because it will become too complicated and you'll never use it. It's so true. Or words to that effect. Amen. I already took it out in the backyard and shot pics of my friendly feral cat and the cardinal that she missed, and some wonderful cumulus clouds that covered the afternoon sky. I'm ready to go forth and try some of the other settings that I'm not familiar with. Not too much at once, of course. Thanks so much for being here. I'll be leaning on you if I need some explanations. Thanks again. So glad you're making the most of your camera. I'm so glad that I could be of assistance to that and help you not to get overwhelmed. Let's see here. Here is one for the Panasonic LX10 walkthrough by a Lili Fisher. Thank you for making this video. Thank you for the precise and detailed explanation of each function. This video is exactly what I've been looking for the past 2 years. Good job. Wow. 2 years of searching for a video like mine. That's the whole reason I wanted to create this channel, is because I found that there were a lot of people going, this is why it's awesome and this is why it sucks and that's it, and giving you guys a full walkthrough. So I'm really glad that you were able to find my video and find it helpful. Here is one for the Canon T8i walkthrough from a Daniel Pittman. Now, Daniel, if you happen to see this, I see all of your comments. You have left me several very kind comments, which I'm sure to mention more of in this video, and wanted to thank you for your support and kind words. But this one here says, I've been shooting Olympus since a good friend gave me an OM1 for my first black and white photography class at San Diego City College. I've always appreciated their small and lightweight bodies. My other camera is an OMD EM10 Mark II, which is truly tiny. I do mainly landscape photography, so having something light enough to hike with is a priority. A lot of folks will diss micro four thirds cameras, claiming poor image quality, but the EM1 will do 50 megapixels handheld and 80 megapixels on a tripod. Can autofocus on stars, has decent CAF, and has fantastic glass available at decent prices. I absolutely love it. Anyway, just wanted to say I like the way you present information. It's very accessible and down to earth. Your voice is pleasant, and it doesn't hurt that you're cute as a button. Oh, you just stop it. a lot of cute comments. I like them. Keep them coming. Here is one on the tips and tricks video, what to know about SD cards by Elizabeth LaFontaine. Heather, you are great. Thanks for this video. I've used SanDisk for many years and no problems. Do you have Facebook or other way of contacting you, or do you do one-on-one sessions? I'd love some help with my Lumix S5. So I don't have a Facebook for my YouTube, but I do have Instagram, which is Heather's FP, if you would like to follow me there. You can also reach out to me if you find that my comments aren't getting through to me fast enough. You can email me at foreverphotography10@gmail.com. I do offer one-on-one sessions usually. With my new promotion, it has severely limited my schedule. So that is something to keep in mind. However, if you want to reach out for a one-on-one session, we can definitely discuss the options there. I will definitely try and help wherever I can. Let's see here. Here's one for the Nikon Z5 walkthrough from a Damien Carroll. Thank you for creating and sharing such fantastic introduction and overview of the Z5. Your video was very helpful. A perfect Goldilocks of information. Not too much, not too little, just right. Thank you. Thank you. That was actually a really awesome comment. I loved it. Here is one for the Nikon Z6 II, Z7 II walkthrough from a Mary Nickel. Thanks so much for this great video. I am a super newbie with Nikon, so I will be watching this video several times to absorb all the new info for me. Question 1 for you. In the autofocus section, A1, under the AFC priority section, what is the difference between the choices of release or focus? That's actually a very common question. So when it comes to the priority, it means you get to choose whether you want the priority to be that it takes the picture no matter what, or if you want the priority to focus first before it takes the picture. That's what that means there. Her question 2 is unrelated to this camera. What are the best techniques you use when photographing people wearing glasses to keep the glare off of those glasses? Thanks again. That's a great question too. I wish I had glasses around here. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm going to go and grab glasses. I know I'm live, but I'm going to go grab glasses. Well, what? Aren't you going to keep them entertained, Rox? Aren't you going to keep them entertained? No? Okay. Well, there's no one there anyway, so we're good. Okay. Ugh, if I can scoop my chair. There we go. Glasses. Reflection. So what you want to do when people wear glasses to try and avoid this reflection back, I look pretty cool right now, is tell them you know it's going to feel weird, but you want to have them raise the bottoms of their glasses here. Here. Kind of. It typically works with better lighting, but it does cut out a lot of that glare there. You know, adjusting the chin, maybe not down, maybe not up, but typically you move the glasses up, especially if they have longer hair to go over it. You can't really notice that the glasses are tilted. It's better with prescription glasses, but you get the point. But just wanted to share that with everybody. Here is one for the Panasonic FZ80 walkthrough. There's another one for that by an Adrian Fox. Absolutely brilliant run through of all the things I couldn't find anywhere else. Certainly not in the unreadable manuals from Panasonic and a number of other how-to videos. Thank you so much for your clarity and comprehensiveness. I suspect many people like me get stuck at the what does that do stage and how to change. Try out and importantly reverse various of the multiple settings. I have felt overwhelmed and depressed by this camera. After your video, I now feel inspired and will be able to try out so many of the things which caused me utter confusion. Bless you and Happy New Year, because this did happen toward the New Year, so that was good. Well, I'm so happy that I could yank you out of that depression of not being able to get that camera to focus for you and really guide you into what those settings do. That's a pleasure to know. Here's another one for the Panasonic FZ80 walkthrough from an Ian Penny. Thank you so much for this video. I bought this camera a week ago to hopefully start experimenting with photography. I have been mind blown and overwhelmed by the technology almost to the point of giving up hope. This video has helped me massively, very clear and easy to follow, and more importantly, and unlike some other videos, without the jargon. Thanks again. I try and go as simple as possible. There's no point in throwing out big words that I know I understand that not everyone will understand, which is why I try and use a lot of examples. So I'm really glad that you found that very helpful. I hate how frizzy my hair is right now. Okay. Here is one for the Sony walkthrough from a Luan Carlo de Todos los Santos de Bourbon. I apologize. I'm very white. Thank you so much. The video makes me feel like I want to use my camera more. That's the point. Yay! I'm so happy. Another one for the Panasonic FZ80 walkthrough by a Carolyn Becker. Thank you, Heather. After reading the manual and looking at another how-to YouTube video, I thought I'd just return the camera. My husband found Shutterbug in 30 minutes. I learned enough the camera to know it wasn't made just to drive me crazy. Heather, you are a great instructor. Heather tells you all the things you need to know to get started. I'm really happy that I could do that for you. Through my job, I actually discovered how much I love teaching. I knew that I may want to get into teaching, but didn't know if I want to get into like a school. And I knew I was passionate about photography. So my job actually combined those for me. And now I can provide that in a YouTube channel, which is really cool. Oh, another one for the Panasonic FZ80 walkthrough by Ulysses Quasi. I agree with the poster who said this is the cleanest video out there for the FZ80. Within her start, I was able to do auto picks and flicks. I had this camera for way too long now and have tried many others' videos after long ago having trashed the written instructions Panasonic lamely laid on this thing. However, thanks for posting this. My plan is to watch a few minutes a day until I feel comfy with this camera. That's the point. You know, for some people, they've commented and gone, sorry, you're going too fast. There's a pause button. And you can always go back. You don't have to watch it all in one go. Watch it at your pace. Learn about it. Some people even like get so far and go, okay, I'm going to practice with what I learned on this and get comfortable with it. And then I'll watch more of the video later. So do it all at your own pace. You know, I might talk a little fast, but I kind of have to, because then my videos would be hours long because there's a lot on these cameras. So use that pause button, take a break if it feels like there's too much information, and come back. Here is one for the vlog number 17, starting 2022, Finding Beauty in Nature. Another by Daniel Pittman, that at 4 minutes and 44 seconds, he found beauty in nature, and it was me. You guys are so corny. I love it. You guys make my day. So thank you very much, Daniel. Here is yet another one for the Panasonic FZ80 walkthrough by an Edward Navarez, who says, this video deserves an Oscar. I mean, if you want to nominate it, I won't deny the nomination. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys can just help me get to, like, 100,000 subscribers so I can have one of those fancy plaques on my wall. Like, that to me would be a huge success. That would be awesome to know I've helped that many people. So keep it up. Okay, here's one for the Just the Samples Fujifilm X Pro 3 video by a Gino Nix. Says, just the sample segment is one of my favorites. I'm really glad that you said so. There was somebody that had the idea. A few people had actually mentioned it. Hey, can you just post the pictures? Just post pictures and the settings. I thought, well, while I'm getting so busy with my job, it could act as kind of a filler. So I released the Just the Samples segments where my old walkthroughs, taking, instead of just a few of the photos and videos that I did, taking all the photos and videos I did of that camera and just showing the samples and showing the metadata of those pictures, showing you everything that was captured by the cameras itself with some nice music as the background. And it's just a nice slideshow. And it seems that a lot of people are enjoying it. So I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you saying that you're enjoying it, because I will keep making them as long as I have footage to post. So thank you very much. Here is one for the, this was approaching the 10K, saying, hey, I'll do a live. Neil Sardenberg had said, your channel is one of my favorites on YouTube. Yay! Congratulations to 10K subscribers, and good luck to reach 100K. With your help, I can get there. One or more videos about the Lumix GH6 would be very cool if you can do it. It is my personal suggestion. Fantastic. I do have that on my list. With the GH6 and the GH5 Mark II and the A7S Mark III, because those are more video prominent cameras, I want to show you guys excellent examples for those. So I'm trying to work it out to where I can get video of some really cool things, not like the GH5 video where I documented Heather's morning eating pancakes. I want to get you guys something a little bit more to go off of. So I am working on that currently. Here's one for the Nikon D850 walkthrough from Courtney Pollard Wells. Thank you. I stumbled across your video this evening and it has been a lifesaver. I just finally got a new camera at work after 4 to 5 years of needing one, and we chose to upgrade to the D850 from a D3200, which is definitely a more beginner DSLR, because of the insane amount of features and the fact that it will serve our needs for years to come. The only problem is I haven't had a chance to learn as much as I'd like, and I have an awards ceremony to photograph tomorrow morning. I was feeling a bit apprehensive until watching your video. Now I feel prepared, and I don't worry that I'll make a fool of myself. I look forward to learning a lot more from you. Well, Courtney, I hope that your photos for the awards ceremony came out amazing. A lot of having a new camera is trial and error, and it does take patience. So do be patient with your new cameras as you go and learn them. As much as we would love to just be like, this is a professional camera, I just want to pick it up, push the button, and it didn't come out amazing. It doesn't work quite that way. Although technology is helping it get to that point a little bit easier and a little bit at a time. So that's always nice. Here is one for the Panasonic G7 walkthrough from a David Holt. I just got a Lumix DMC G7K. This is by far and away one of the most informative videos out there. When I unboxed it and looked at all the buttons, dials, symbols, and settings, I thought, what the heck? Your video really made this camera simple to understand. I started shooting photos way back in the 60s with a 35mm Canon. You explained all the bells and whistles in a clear, concise, and understandable video. Thank you very much for a great video. Just what I was looking for. I'm off to check out your other videos. Awesome. Thank you, David Holt. I'm really glad that I could help you get started on your new camera. Oh, thank you for the like, whoever did that. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Here is one for the Canon SL3 walkthrough by a Tommy Stars. That's a fancy name. Is that your real name? Because that's like a movie star name. Tommy Stars. It's kind of cool. Awesome video. Thank you. It was very educational. I like. Oh, thank you. It's Build a Leg. Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Here is one for Panasonic ZS100 walkthrough by a Veldanda Rayo. Completely agree with the comments below. Such a clear presentation with the correct flow, starts with the basics and then moves progressively through the niche aspects. So much better than the manual. Panasonic should hire Shutterbug to do official videos for them. Bottom line, if you buy this camera, watch this presentation first before you even open the package. You will have so much more confidence in using it. Thanks, Shutterbug. Awesome. Again, it's the whole point I make these videos is so you guys feel comfortable using the gear that's there. With these new cameras, there's so many features and buttons, it can be very intimidating. So I'm just glad that I can assist. Here is another one from Gino Nix, actually, on the vlog number 20, Heather's first tattoo, who said, really nice tat. Your brother would love that. I really appreciate it again. I really love it. I think it's nice to be able to look down and remember my brother. So I really appreciate your kind comment on it. Here is another one for the Panasonic FZ80 walkthrough. I think that's probably one of the most watched videos, especially with all these comments, by a Dale White. Thank you so much, Heather. I recently bought this camera and was at the point of irritation that I pitched it over to the end of our couch, to which it bounced to the floor. So thankfully, it's pretty thick carpeting. Your video has showed me so much. Well, it's a good thing that you had thick carpeting. I would hate for you to throw your camera in frustration and then it just break and you don't get to learn it. I hope that that's the kind of the one time that you get to throw it, especially after my video. And if you have any questions, please let me know so we can avoid that happening again. Here is another one for the Nikon ZFC walkthrough by Elizabeth. Unlike any Nikon made, I literally have a Nikon FE that looks almost identical. Maybe educate yourself a bit more before you make a YouTube video. It's hard to take anything you say seriously. Yeah, the reason I brought up this comment is this isn't the first comment on the Nikon ZFC that was made similar to this. So first off, I'm sorry if I didn't make it very clear when I mentioned that when Nikon made the ZFC that they hadn't made anything like it before. I meant it in a way where they hadn't made a digital camera like this. Naturally, any photographer, anybody that's in the camera business knows that Nikon and Canon started out as film cameras, as most of the manufacturers did. And I'm very well aware of the Nikon 35mm series where they had that very same design. That is not what I was referring to. I was referring to the digital cameras and more specifically the mirrorless cameras. This is the first overall overhaul that they've had to look very similar to their film styles, which Fujifilm has done since the beginning. So I was just putting it out there that anybody that has been shooting Nikon digitally for years, it's a very, very, very different overlay, as they do have the shutter speed dial and the ISO and the aperture. It's all separate versus it being internal on the menu itself. So when I hope that, because I did respond to this comment, I'm hoping that you can still take me seriously after I explained, because naturally I am aware of the film era. I started with film as well. So I just want to throw that out there as it had been mentioned more than once. Here's one for the Canon 90D walkthrough from a Play Day writer. What Mary Jo said, and you did this in a way even an idiot like me can understand. I'll get so much more out of this camera now. Great video. I hope none of you guys feel like idiots or morons or just feeling dumb with these cameras. Like, unfortunately, it can make you feel that way. You're too young to have started with film. Believe it or not, I started with film. That is like, I start now. I didn't start with the Nikon or Canon. I actually started with the Vivitar, which I actually still have. I actually have 6 film cameras on my shelf that I've used. I don't use film as much anymore, just because digital is just easier and faster. But I still appreciate film, for sure. I appreciate you saying I'm too young to start with film, but I did indeed start with film. Anyway, I hope none of you feel dumb using your camera. While technology these days can make all of us feel dumb, including myself, because it's hard to keep up. I hope that you can take control of your camera and become the master of it, and be able to tell the camera, no, camera, this is what I want. You're not doing what I want to do. And feel more intelligent and confident in using the gear. Here's one for the Panasonic ZS100 walkthrough from a Richard Tillman. Thank you, Heather and Shutterbug 101. I recommend to anyone with the Lumix ZS100 to see your video first. It is the best ZS100 instructional video ever made, better than the actual owner's manual by Panasonic. I wish it was twice as long and included additional detailed description of the menu set tabs and types mentioned by Heather in brief, such as setup and custom. I would love to learn from Heather's what's behind each available option and what they do and don't do. For example, what is MF Assist Display PIP, custom settings memory, and other modes, hiding behind abbreviations and acronyms. But most of all, thank you for a job well done. Thank you, Richard. I do have it on my to-do list to do a full detailed walkthrough of each manufacturer's menu itself. That way I can go into more detail without wasting a lot of time on the just general walkthroughs. And that way I can really go through those in detail, what they do, what they don't do, what the abbreviations mean, all of that. What's this? I have 3 above my fireplace. I never use them, but they look so lovely in an old cottage environment. I agree. They're really great on the shelf when it comes to film cameras. Really great display, great conversation piece. I recommend seeing if they work and just using each one once. That way you can actually say you used them. It's actually pretty cool. So are they like the billowed film cameras, like the old Kodaks, or are they 35 millimeter, 120? I'm kind of curious. Let me know. We'll go to the next one here. So here is one for vlog number 20, Heather's first tattoo. Again, by Daniel Pittman. Thank you very much. Looks great. My wife has about 8 tattoos on her arm as a memorial for our son who passed away before his 3rd birthday. I'm so sorry for your loss. That is hard. It's a good way to keep someone with you, and a good way to put your grief emotions into something tangible. Absolutely. For me, I had kind of been going back and forth on getting a tattoo for some time, but as soon as my brother did pass away and I was going through the grief, I'm like, I want to get a tattoo. Like, I want it to mean something. I want it to be something I can look down at and just go, this is for my brother. And its representations are naturally the bike chain, because he had passed away in a motorcycle accident, and the forget-me-nots, and they're blue because his motorcycle was blue. And of course it says bro because that's what I used to call him. So it does mean a lot to me. I think it's a really cool idea for anybody to do that. If you're not into tattoos, that's cool too. Everybody has their own grieving process. But thank you, Daniel, for sharing that very personal information. That meant a lot. And another one on Heather's first tattoo as well, from Richard Tillman again, which I thought this was actually very interesting. I want to do some more research into it because I hadn't heard it before. So for anybody, again, looking to get a tattoo or something like that, he said, sorry to say that, but in fact, Aquaphor is known to cause serious damage due to the presence of lanolin, also known as wool wax. There's substantial evidence showing that wool alcohols and lanolin can cause allergic contact dermatitis, which I did get. A large study done at Mass General Hospital reported that wool alcohols caused an allergic reaction in 6.6% of people who came in for an allergy test. So I'm just one of the 6.6%. I'm the minority. Yay! Let's see. Yes, one is a Kodak my father-in-law gave me to sell, but no way I could sell it when had used it to capture his life and his kids, my future partner. It's a Kodak Junior 2. That is really cool. That alone is such a great like thing to pass down. And it's one of those things, like I was referring to abandoned buildings and stuff earlier and how I'm kind of attracted to those. Older cameras, especially when you know the history of them, have that same effect where it captured so many memories before you, and it's a great conversation piece, like I said. So that's really cool that you keep that, and then you can pass it down to your own kids too, which is really cool. And an Ilford Sportsman that I paid less than £10 for. Awesome. There you go. Those are the screaming deals. I know a couple of the film cameras I have I have a Brownie that I got for I think $2 at a thrift store. I have a Nikon. I have 2 Canons up there. I have my original Vivitar. That's actually probably my favorite. I don't know if it's because it's my first film camera, but it's definitely my favorite. So I have them all up there on a shelf. I need to use them, eventually when I have time. That is actually all my comments that I have, all my favorite comments that stood out to me for the past few years of achieving 10,000 subscribers. So again, I want to thank all of you for your support. Keep sharing, keep liking videos, keep throwing those comments out there. If you just want to tell a joke, I mean, I could use a giggle any time of the day. That's what's always really made this whole process really great for me, is to know I'm helping you guys, that you're watching, and that you find some positivity out of it. My mom had a box Brownie, and I'm not sure of the maker because I have it locked away. I think the Brownie was exclusively to Kodak, actually, if I'm not mistaken. I have to look into it, but naturally the film that they put in the Brownies and even the old Kodaks, they don't make it anymore. A lot of people will cut down like 120 film to get to fit in the, 126, I think it was, reels. My shop is actually one of the only shops in the state that still develops film on site, which is kind of cool. So even if I wanted to shoot film, I could have it developed right away, which is nice. But anyway, thank you, Bill the Leg, for being my watcher for my live. I'm sure that other people will watch in their own time. I understand this is kind of in the middle of the day on a weekday. People are working. I get it. But this was kind of one of my opening spots to do it. I want to make sure that I really put out my thank you out there. So thank you guys again. For the next live, when we get there, maybe I'll do it at 50,000, maybe 100,000, maybe if there's some special circumstance that comes up, I'll let you guys know. Or if you demand a live Q&A, if people will sign on for that, that will be great. I would definitely do another live if you guys had questions that you want to do, and I could schedule it and we could just do a live Q&A. I'm totally up for that. So let me know in the comments below. Like the video, go and check out my other ones. There's more coming, and we'll see you for the next live. Bye, guys.